ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In our major story, female suicide bomber hits crowded phone market in Potiskum, Yobe's capital, leaving 5 persons dead and several injured. Also in this program, Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan describes rumors of possible interim national government as treasonable. Lagos State Governor Fashola berates the President Goodluck Jonathan over Lagos residents' bonded statement. And outside Nigeria, twin bomb hits Iranian envoy's residence in Tripoli, Libya. A young female suicide bomber believed to be working for the Boko Haram sect blew up herself and 5 others when the explosive devices strapped to her body detonated at the congested GSM market in Potiskum, Yobe State. The dead victims were killed in their efforts to intercept the girl at the entrance of the market, and 19 others were injured in the incidents, eyewitnesses say. It is the second time in a month that the Potiskum GSM market has been bombed. The Bring Back Our Girls coalition has demanded verifiable evidence of victories over Boko Haram insurgents from the military authorities, noting that accurate reporting in times of war is a critical tool for winning battles. The group says the military should provide photos, videos and other evidences to show that it is making progress in the country's war against terrorism. The Bring Back Our Girls movement is in a statement to mark the second week of its 6-week countdown to the war against terrorism and rescue of the Chibok schoolgirls in Abuja, says the federal government and the military should know that they have credibility deficits due to misinformation in the past. The statements read by Tunji Olariwaju on behalf of the Bring Back Our Girls movement, Obi Ezekwesili, also flagged what he called the conflicting signals on the renewed offensive in the northeast, noting that some presidential aides discountenanced a statement credited to President Goodluck Jonathan that normalcy may be restored in the area within 6 weeks. The group wondered if military intelligence was lagging in the light of ongoing attacks by Boko Haram. The coalition says it learned from military sources that the current offensives were meant to keep Boko Haram at bay because the multinational Joint Task Force is yet to deploy troops, and questioned the wisdom behind the 6 weeks timeline for the offensive against the insurgent. As the Nigerian military and government forces of neighboring countries continue to gain momentum in an attempt to flush out the Boko Haram insurgents, the Joint Youth Council worldwide has cautioned against any possible ceasefire or peace negotiations. The Udengs Eradiri-led Ijo Youth Council contends that any idea of negotiation for peace or peace move from the Boko Haram insurgents or their sympathizers must be resisted. The group's position is contained in a statement issued by its spokesman, Mr. Eric Omari. The group calls on the federal government of Nigeria and the governments of neighboring Chad, Cameroon and Benin Republic not to relent in the ongoing war without flushing out all of the Boko Haram insurgents. It's commended the efforts of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Joint National Forces for the successes recorded so far in the ongoing war against insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria. The J Youth Council, however, sympathized with the families of those who had paid the ultimate price in the crucial national assignment. The group also called on the traditional, political and religious leaders of the North, including youths, to support the government and provide the lead in the fight against Boko Haram. President Goodluck Jonathan says the insinuations making the rounds that he plans to put in place an interim national government instead of handing over to a democratically elected president on May 29th is treasonable. He went on to say the only interim national government that could be put in place is that of the military, which he added would not be acceptable to the nation and the international community. Jonathan made this declaration at the opening mass for the plenary assembly of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, held at the Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Pro Cathedral, Garki, Abuja. He again assured all stakeholders that elections would hold on the rescheduled date and the winners would be inaugurated on May 29th, as it describes the recent poll shift as a blessing in disguise. It said there would have been a monumental loss during a recent attack on Gombe State on the same day earlier fixed for the presidential election. The president used the opportunity to thank Christians and all Nigerians for their prayers, which he said had sustained the country despite the security challenges currently being witnessed in the northeast. He expressed assurance that the country would overcome its challenges. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has described as malicious a statement credited to President Goodluck Jonathan that he was in Lagos to free residents from bondage. Fashola made this reaction while inspecting a proposed cemetery site along Lekki Ekpe axis in the state. It says if truly residents of the state were living in bondage, the president would not have been able to spend 5 days in the state during his last visit. Other projects inspected by the governor includes the Lagos State Court of Arbitration building, 11th-story building to provide shelter for 48 families at Isale Gongon, and a 4-meter canopy walkway at the Nigerian Conservation Foundation in Lagos. The Independent National Electoral Commission has said the number of people that have collected their permanent voter cards has risen to 52,419,495. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Kayode Idowu, confirms the latest state in Abuja, saying the figure amounts for 76% of 68,833,476 registered voters. INEC had on Tuesday said 52,275,367 people had collected their PVCs out of 68 million people who registered. Idowu also stated that card readers would be deployed in 152,031 polling units across the country during the March 28th and April 11th elections, adding that INEC had procured 26,000 extra card readers. Senator Muhammad Ndume is concerned about claims of irregularities in the distribution of permanent voter cards in Borno State and other states in the northeast. He insists that there is no truth in claims that Boko Haram activities should have prevented registered voters from collecting their PVCs. Ndume, who is representing Borno South in the Senate, explains that the exercise was centralized in the state.
I heard about it, but you know, Let me tell you, my brother, things that are happening to us, it's only God that will save us. Because you find children that are in the camps that they don't know where their parents are. I have somebody that I know that has 18 children. He could only locate 3. He has 3 wives. He could only locate 1. I have those ones. I have people that are here, children that I had to send back. Because when they were running away, they joined all the available means of transport and they find themselves in Abuja. So in some of the IDPs, we discovered that they are, young boys of 16, 13, or even less from my local government that find themselves in Abuja. And some as far as in Lagos. We have to transfer them back to the camps and keep them in the camps there. So, and then you always have people that are taking advantage of any bad situation. So they engage in that. I had, the instances, but we are keeping an eye on it, and the IDP zones are now being more secured, and the instances we have of this is being really taken care of.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory have been reacting to the new amendment to the Constitution that allows independent candidates during elections. Although the provisions will not take immediate effect, many of them see it as a good development. They are, however, concerned that the political elite may work against its implementation.
If we begin to apply such system in Nigeria, I think it's good. It also gives room, it reduces corruption. Because some people consider the fact that run under a political platform, you don't have to pay a lot of homage. You understand what I'm saying? And but as an independent candidate, you feel you can, if you can board the brunt, you can really run. But for me, I support independent candidacy. It's good. It's good. It's healthy for our democracy.
It's a wonderful thing the Senate has done. But from that, anybody can stand for election anytime, any day, without coming out on a platform of any political party. I believe it's a good thing for our democracy. And from there, we can move forward.
If you want to test the popularity or anything, there's no need to form a political party. Yes, the political party have a role to play, but bringing an independent candidate into being, it enhances the political terrain of every nation in which Nigeria belongs. To me, I'm very happy for the Senate to pass such a resolution, and I also encourage that it's not passing the resolution alone, but let it come into being, into practical, let people be. And those who are independent candidates should be given a fair and fair, not for other people to use their own political party to suppress or dominate those people.
The People's Democratic Party accuses Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha of masterminding an attack on Imo widows. Find out how after this time out. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Many thanks for being there. And if you're just joining us, it's the CoreTV Primetime News. And here is a reminder of the major stories. Female suicide bomber hits crowded phone market in Port Escom, leaving 5 persons dead and several injured. Nigeria President Goodluck Jonathan describes rumors of possible interim national government treasonable. Lagos State Governor Fashola berates the president over Lagos residents' bandage statement. And for more on CoreTV News, you can visit our social media platforms. On Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, with a space then news. The People's Democratic Party has accused Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha of masterminding an attack on widows holding a political rally in support of President Goodluck Jonathan. It consequently wants the police authorities to investigate the incident that took place on February 10th with a view to prosecuting the culprits. Spokesman for the party's presidential campaign team, Femi Fanikadi, claimed that the men who disrupted the rally were armed hired thugs who emerged from the government house in Owerri. He alleged that the police looked the other way as the thugs beat up the women who had gathered under the auspices of Imo Widows Association for the Solidarity March. Fanikayode added that an NTA cameraman was stabbed and his camera seized for daring to record the event. Despite the postponement of the general elections by 6 weeks by the Independent National Electoral Commission, politicians in Owerri, Imo State are working modalities that will ensure victories at the polls. The incumbent governor, Rochas Okorocha of the APC, in order to return to the government house, has been doing all he can to ensure victory despite stiff opposition from the PDP. This is coming from the current Minister for State on Education, Viola Onwulire, who has been working hard to ensure victory for both at state and federal levels, convincing Imo citizens of projects executed by Goodluck Jonathan administration. Our correspondent Ajibade Awufeso gives update in this report.
The tension generated by recent events in Imo State has resulted in war of words and mudslinging from both parties. Observers express mixed feelings. The governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, has this to say.
While on the way, I learned that some of the PDP leaders, led by Viola Okwashi, the great liar of the century, the woman that claimed that the 305 schools belong to federal government.
However, there are claims and counterclaims of the actual actors of school projects in the state. While governor claimed they were his administration's efforts, Viola Onwulire, Minister of Education, states otherwise, claiming they are the federal government project constructed by UBEC and MDGTS and so on.
The classroom blocks built by UBEC in all the communities of the state, I call them the cream and green classrooms. Some of them are labeled, others are not labeled. The MDG classrooms that are grey and cream, again in most communities. The NDDC classrooms, some of them by ETF at the basic education level, are all federal government projects. The twin-story building classrooms, the recent one in 305 wards in the state, they are all federal government projects. And this man has claimed all of them before I got to education. And so when I exposed this to Imo people were alarmed, were surprised that the governor could tell this amount of lies.
It was also alleged that the governor's teaming supporters beat up widows who came out to protest against the insult of their matron, Viola Onwulire. According to the minister, Rochas Okorocha's free education is not actually free, rather a postponement of fees, as final year students are being asked to pay 400,000 naira for clearance.
Whereas him, as the visitor to those institutions, he's not spent anything, and he claims he's doing free education on another person's money. But now in most states, people have seen what his free education is. Because as of now, the parents are complaining. Some of them came to me that their children that have just finished from Imo State University are requested to pay upwards of 400 or something thousand naira to be able to obtain clearance. And so it was like putting up the
payment for
postponing the payment for future.
She therefore called on all Imolites to vote Emeka Ihedioha into office, assuring them of well-structured system of government and dividends of democracy Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
As the general elections approach, various political parties have continued to canvass for votes for their presidential candidates. Not left behind in the race is Nigeria's Minister of State for Education, Viola Onwuliri, who believes re-election bid of President Goodluck Jonathan is welcomed by the people of Imo State, despite the overwhelming popularity of APC in the state. Despite scathing remarks by Governor Richard Okorocha on the low performance of President Goodluck Jonathan in the state, Onwuliri is convinced of the PDP presidential candidate victory in the state, as she points out various projects executed in the state under Goodluck Jonathan's administration. She assures victory for President Goodluck Jonathan at the polls, even as she describes him as a good gift from God to Nigeria.
Because you cannot, spoil President Jonathan's image. People know that the man is a liar and the governor of Imo State. So anything he talks against President Jonathan will not be taken seriously. President Jonathan is our president. He's our man any day. He's on the lips of every Imo citizen. He's just wasting time campaigning for APC. That one will not work in Imo State. No matter how much he's planning to rig, they've collected people's PVCs, they've hacked into, we heard they hacked into INEC database, the same APC. So no matter what they do, they cannot snatch victory from President Jonathan by the special grace of God, because he's working with God. He believes that Nigeria is a family. His name even represents what God wants from him. Jonathan from the Bible means gift of God. So Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan is the gift of good luck to Nigerians at this time. And God will not deviate from that. And it's only God that gives leaders. So any other person is just wasting their time.
As the people of Okpa Division in Lagos reflect on the visit of President Goodluck Jonathan to the area over the weekend, facilitator of the meeting, Gloria Adebajo Fraser, says the visit is designed to bring governance closer to the people. She says she will continue to mobilize Lagosians to vote for President Goodluck Jonathan.
What we're looking at is ensuring that the disconnect between the leadership and the followership is addressed effectively. The traditional rulers are the closest institution to the grassroots, and once we engage them and the federal government recognizes them and visits them and discusses the projects that interests the development of the communities and gets this response and knows about what the communities are yearning for, then it goes a long way to addressing the issues. You learned about the power issue when the Oloja mentioned that, and Mr. President has made a note of it. And the gubernatorial candidate, JK, mentioned that with the Egbe and the other power stations, we're going to have light in Ekpe very, very soon. So you see, it actually enables the government at the federal level to appreciate the challenges, grievances, interests, sensitivities, sensibilities of the people, the grassroots.
A group of lawyers in Lagos have taken to the streets as they embark on a march through Ikorodu Road, canvassing support for the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari and his running mate Yemi Osinbajo. The group, under the name Lawyers for Change, holds the essence of the solidarity march for a better governance amidst the current crisis the country is going through. As they call for change, they reiterated their stance that only the Buhari-Osinbajo ticket can provide the needed change for the country.
Lawyers for Change is a professional group of lawyers, exclusively so for lawyers, and the purpose and philosophy behind it is to participate in the democratic processes in our country by identifying and supporting people we consider, or individuals we consider, credible people who add value to governance if elected into office.
In reaction to the Lawyers' March for Change, these passerby had this to say on the Buhari-Osinbajo candidacy.
All we need is change. Osinbajo is our man, and We know his capacity. We know how he can turn this country around. He is under a ticket with Buhari to contest for the presidency of Nigeria and vice presidency respectively. We believe in him. We believe that the desired change is going to come with this, and we are very happy. We are waiting for it. We know we will actualize it, and it will come to pass.
By the grace of God, Buhari now going because of Boko Haram, with no peace, no lights. But I believe by the grace of God, if Buhari come, everything change.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
Unknown gunmen have again struck in River State, kidnapping one of the aides to the state's governor, Freddie Ndigbara. Ndigbara, who is an anchorman for Governor Rotimi Amaechi's events inside and outside Government House, was whisked away by hoodlums in Kani community, Kana local government area of the state. It was gathered that Ndigbara, who is popularly called Freddy by Government House workers, was accosted and forced into a waiting car by the gunmen during a ward rally organized by the All Progressives Congress in the area. Ndigbara was said to have traveled from Port Harcourt to his hometown to be part of the rally. The hoodlums, according to an eyewitness, had stomped the rally with a red Toyota Highlander sports utility van, made a quick search for their target before forcing him into the car. His abductors immediately sped off to an unknown destination as members of the party in Kani, Ward 6, took cover to avoid being shot by the suspected kidnappers. A former chief press secretary to Amaechi, Blessing Wikina, confirmed the incident. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has charged the police authorities to provide reasonable explanations on the circumstances that led to the murder of Professor Ahmed Falaki of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. The professor of agriculture was on Saturday killed by a mob on the outskirts of Kano in the presence of policemen on the suspicion that he was a Boko Haram member. The police later announced that its men killed one of the insurgents that attacked a police station. But Atiku said in a statement issued by his media office in Abuja that the explanation given about how the leading professor of agriculture died falls short of logical assimilation. He noted in the statement that the police account of the circumstances that led to the death of one of Africa's leading authorities in agriculture is an embarrassment to the Nigerian police force. The former vice president said the fact that men of the police will stand and become witnesses to murder is a disturbing narrative of Professor Falaki's death. As part of efforts in creating employment and equal job quota among towns and citizens of Ekiti State, the Ekiti State government has embarked on a drive to resuscitate moribund industries in the state. One of the possible recipients of the resuscitation is state-owned amplified modulation radio station at Ifaki, as the state government embarked on an assessment tour of the station premises to convert it to frequency modulation radio station as it cushions the current unemployment rate in Ifaki, Ekiti. Rashid has more.
The Ifaki AM radio was established in 1979 with the sole aim of disseminating information. Apart the fact that AM radio stations are no more in vogue, the Ifaki stations has also suffered neglect at one time or the other as government and regimes changes in Ekiti State. But in a guided tour led by the Secretary to the State Government and the Director General of the State Broadcasting Outfit, reviving the moribund AM station is that which is very important to the present administration.
When Mr. Governor was campaigning, he promised the Ifakis that they will give them back the radio station. And true to his word, he commissioned us to come here to inspect the equipment. And this is why we have come. And we have gone round, we have seen them. Some of them are very bad, in very bad condition, but some could be repaired.
In the creation of employment and putting the facility to optimal use, in the words of Larry Olainka, the AM station will be upgraded to the modern time radio station.
What we have here presently is AM, and I'm aware that, and all of us are also aware that AM is almost being taken out. So I expect FM station. Yeah.
As the whole of Ifaki town look forward to the resuscitation of the radio station, matching words with quick action is now their prayer, even as the broadcasting world also awaits a new platform that will hopefully bring out the best of the profession. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ifaki Ekiti.
We'll take another break and we'll return with sports and other stories outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360.
2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Puyol with a flying leap.
Go, taking them out in the lead and
Liverpool moved to within 2 points of Champions League place by scoring with their first two shots on target at 5th place Southampton. Philippe Coutinho scored with a 25-yard cutler in the 3rd minute. Southampton had 2 early penalty appeals turned down as challenges on Philippe Juričić by Emre Can and Joe Allen went unpunished. Raheem Sterling also had a penalty claim rejected but made it 2-0 when Matt Targett failed to clear cross. Liverpool are the only team not to have lost a Premier League match in 2015 and are well placed to push for a top 4 finish in their final 12 matches. The result saw Brendan Rodgers' side leapfrog Tottenham into 6th and left them 3 points behind 3rd place Arsenal. They had to right their luck, though, to hold on to the early lead given to them in a spectacular fashion by Coutinho. Flying Eagles name final AYC squad on Thursday. Nigeria's Flying Eagles have to submit a final 21-man squad for the 2015 AYC to CAF by midnight of Thursday, officials have disclosed. The Nigerian under-20 currently have a 28-man provisional squad that includes Belgium-based defender Wilfred Ndidi and Dolphins' new signing Christian Bayagbara. Bayagbara joined the Flying Eagles training camp in Abuja on their return from 2 warm-up matches in Ghana, while the Nigeria Football Federation are waiting on Belgian club Genk over the release of Ndidi for the AYC. In the meantime, the results of the scans on Musa Yaya and Zaharaddin Bello are expected to be made known in the new week. Yaya suffered a knee injury during the Flying Eagles' second test match against Ghana in Tema, while Bello is nursing a swollen calf. The Nigeria under-20s are due to fly out for a training tour ahead of the AYC, which kicks off March 8 in Dakar, Senegal. And to other stories outside Nigeria, 2 bombs struck the empty residence of the Iranian ambassador in the Libyan capital, security officials say, but nobody was hurt. The attack was the latest to target a diplomatic mission in Tripoli, where most embassies have been shut since summer 2014 as militias battled for control of the city. Spokesman for security services in Tripoli Sam Al-Nas says there's been no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. 1 bomb exploded outside the security gate and a second was lobbed into the grounds of the residence. Another security source says no one was hurt as the building was empty and the guard was not at his post at the time of the attack. After weeks of bloody fighting in Tripoli that triggered an exodus of foreign residents and prompted most embassies to close down, the city was seized in August by the Fajr-Libya Militia Alliance. The Iranian ambassador's residence is in an area of Tripoli where several diplomatic missions are located. Witnesses say windows at the nearby Ukrainian embassy were shattered by the impact of the blast. In January, the Islamic State jihadist group claimed responsibility for an attack with explosives that targeted the empty Algerian embassy in Tripoli, wounding a security guard and 2 passers-by. And that's it on the CoreTV Primetime News for tonight. But before we go, a recap of our major stories. Suicide bomber hit crowded phone market in Potiskum and left 5 persons dead, several others injured. Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan has described rumors of possible interim national government treasonable. Finally, Lagos State Governor Fashola has berated the president over Lagos residents' bondage statement. And that's it on CoreTV Primetime News tonight. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Ebulomo Adekunle, wishing you a pleasant night rest.